All right, this is an extra practice problem for Algebra 1. The directions are to factor, and our expression is a trinomial that's 2x squared plus x minus 21. Okay, so because this is a quadratic, it's got the x squared in there, we know this is going to be reversing FOIL, as we have been practicing. And so the way we're going to do this is we are going to identify our A and our B and our C, and then use the magic X, split the B method that we practiced in class. Okay, so the A value is 2, and the B value is 1, the C value is negative 21. I'm getting those from here, the 1 that's right there, and then the negative 21 right there. Okay, the key number for us is AC, and so A times C is negative 42. I'm going to use the magic X to help me figure out which numbers I need to use to split the B. And so I'm going to put the AC in the top of the X, and I put the B in the bottom of the X. And this is where we use our calculator a little bit, or some of the multiplication skills that we've learned over the years, and try to answer this question: which two numbers multiply to be negative 42 and at the same time add to be 1? So this might be a good time to pause the video and see if you can figure this out yourself. But the two numbers are negative 6 and 7. Negative 6 times 7 is negative 42, and negative 6 plus 7 is 1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to split up the B using those two numbers, the negative 6 and the 7. So it's going to look like this: 2x squared minus 6x plus 7x minus 21. So again, please note that negative 6x plus 7x is the exact same thing as 1x. I'm just splitting up the B into a useful pattern that will help me when I decide to factor, which is now. Here's what I do. I'm going to group the first two, and I'm going to group the second two, and I put a plus sign in between the two groupings. Once I've done that, I'm going to factor out the greatest common factor in the first grouping, and then the same in the second grouping. So in the first grouping, the greatest common factor is 2x. My leftovers would be x minus 3. And then plus, in the second group, the common factor, the greatest common factor is 7. So 7 parentheses x minus 3 is your leftover. And now you can see that you've got two factors here, and two terms there, and each of those terms has a common factor of x minus 3. So I'm going to undistribute the x minus 3, and so I'm going to end up with x minus 3. My leftovers would be 2x and plus 7. As always, we want to check these to make sure that we got it right. Pretty easy check. I'm going to come over here and check by using FOIL. And so x minus 3 times 2x plus 7. If I FOIL this out, I end up with 2x squared plus 7x minus 6x minus 21. And by adding those two middle terms, I can see that indeed I have correctly factored this. Okay, so let's see how you do with our little Check for Understanding quiz coming up right now. I'll see you in class.